Alright, welcome back for the first time. I'm unreliable. Maybe if you're like me, you were just as surprised that Warhammer Total War wasn't a catastrophe on start. I honestly thought it was going to be more than a year it'd take them to actually get it up to a shape where it'd be playable. There's definitely been some concessions that have been made, but I'd rather have concessions rather than glaring holes. Things like the AI just not working in battle, or like replays being different for the fight you've just fought. Or even worse, once you get to the end game, the game just effectively breaks down. Where the AI just doesn't know what to do, can't build units, it mismanages them and puts them in places that aren't useful. So for Warhammer not to be in this state, to in fact only have concessions like towers and cities have infinite range, or that you can only siege small sections of cities, or any city that doesn't have walls the army has to sally forth, these things potentially could be addressed with mods or in free LC or even DLC for that matter. So let's have a look and see what Warhammer says. Let's have a look at their blog. For Warhammer Total War, you can also expect a selection of content covering more of the iconic stuff you'll see in the main game, from new units offering new tactical potential in battle, to new magic, lures to augment certain races, spellcasting arsenals. I think that was all the one sentence there. Really, I don't know if we need more spells. I think we need more variation of spells. Maybe even units that could cast spells, but I think that might already exist. I don't know, I'll need to check that. Perhaps most importantly, for long-term replayability, you can also expect to see the occasional new legendary lord who will shake up the race's strategic potential in interesting new ways. I wonder if they're going to let us play as the Chaos Gods. That seems like one of the things they could sell. I feel like they try and pick the IP and then divide up the most valuable parts and the least valuable, and we tend to get the least valuable as free LC, so I don't imagine we'll be getting to play as any of the Chaos Gods for free, but still interesting. Back to what the Creative Assembly say, magic items, quest chains and units. The magic items not so much, they could be added as mods, that doesn't seem like such a problem. The quest chains, they could be a bit more interesting and a bit more in depth, rather than just, if you don't click on that wee tab, you'll never even know you had a quest. And as far as the units go, I think we've got quite a decent roster so far. Britannia could definitely be filled out, but I'm pretty sure they're meant to be one of the free LC factions that'll actually fully playable in the campaign, so that's kind of cool. The image below gives you a rough idea of our plans on this subject, so that'll be the image on the screen right now. Subject to change. The best way to keep you up to date with the new content as it drops is to follow us on social media. Well, only just watch this video. I wonder if that's the progression path of how these things are going to come out. We've already had the new unit with the Vampire Blood Knights. Is it going to be a new unit next, and then a new Lure of Magic? And does Lure of Magic mean a whole school of magic? Because there's 3 whole schools we're getting for free apparently. If you look there as well, there's no campaigns we get for free, but I suppose if they're actual well-crafted, different for the main campaign map in a much smaller, more focused area, I could get behind that. Even the Blood and Gore pack they sold wasn't just Blood and Gore, it had Dismemberment, it had giant units, tearing units apart, it had, if you get hit with a great weapon, your giblets would fly apart. Even with artillery, it blew units to pieces, there was blood everywhere. So I think for the first time I didn't feel sour about having to, you don't have to pay for it, but if you want blood you kind of have to pay for it unless you're going to put a mod in. So no, I guess you don't have to. To actually have it officially, it was £3. This was the first time I wasn't actually sour about that. I think I only paid £2 as well because I got it for G2A, but still, it was the first time I didn't feel like they took £2 off me. And up until this point as well, the free LCs didn't really seem to matter too much, specifically not for Attila. I don't think anyone cared. For Rome, it was nice to get more factions, it was nice to get the Emperor edition, but again they needed to give us that. Towards the end, the third for the last, there's a new playable faction, a new playable race. I'm assuming that's a faction as well, so will the race have multiple lords inside it? And will the new hero at the end there be for that race? I wonder what that race could be as well. It's almost certainly going to be Britannia, but will they fill out the units a bit more as well? Because there's no other new units to come out for the free LC, so does the race just come with some more units? Right now their best unit's Pegasus Knights, and they're interesting, but I don't know if they're enough to carry them as a faction. So something I probably should have noticed right for the start is, if you just look at the background, I'm thinking it's kind of telling you what we're going to get. So if we look at fourth for the last, the new legendary lord, that's going to be an orc one. The new hero right at the end, I'm assuming that's vampire. If we look at the new playable faction, it's a kind of river with a forest, so is that elves? Is that Britannia? If we look at the very first one for the new unit, yep, that's got the skull behind it, so I'm assuming that's vampires. So, well, we broke down this image quite well, that's kind of cool. I think in the next video we'll go into the DLC and what's inside that. If you want to hear more videos like this, like, comment, favourite, subscribe, join us for then.